Hey, Randy Hunter here from beginningsax.com. In this quick licks and tips video, I want to show you a lick I call the bebop scale hybrid lick. Now, you may have heard of bebop scales, and in fact, bebop scales are some of the central components of the bebop style of music, along with other things like the style, the rhythm, the articulation. But bebop scales deal with chromatic passing tones, and there are three common bebop scales. There's the major bebop scale that has a passing tone between the fifth and sixth tones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you hear a chromatic passing tone. I'm playing the G major bebop scale, so I put the E flat as the passing tone. Now, the dominant bebop scale has the passing tone between the 7 and 8, so I'll play the G dominant bebop scale. And the Dorian bebop scale can have a passing tone either between the 3rd and 4th tones or between the 7th and 8th tones. Now, I like to put the passing tone in the Dorian bebop scale between the 7th and 8th tones, but the truth is, on chords in jazz, when you're improvising, you can put passing tones between just about any two whole steps that are in the scale, of the scale that the chords are constructed from. So what I want to show you is kind of a hybrid of the major bebop scale and the Dorian and dominant bebop scale. So this one's going to have, and it's not going to be a whole scale, it's just really going to be a lick. It's going to be a lick that has the passing tone between the 7 and the 8, and I'm descending from the 7 to the 8. From the 8 to the 7. I'm starting on high G, then I'm playing F sharp, F. And all of this is on a G dominant chord. How about a G7 chord? Let's say you could also do this on a G minor 7 chord, but the passing tone between the 8 and the 7. Now I'm going to play the 3rd, the B natural, and I'm going to go back to the 6 and descend, putting the passing tone between the 6 and the 5. So I'll play E, E flat, D. So when I put it together, I've got. Now, that's got the passing tone between the 7 and the 8 and between the 5 and the 6. Of course, I'm doing it in descending fashion. We could create all kinds of licks that have passing tones between 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. But this one is just really some good common bebop vocabulary. There you hear in this little lick, I'm putting the passing tone between the 8 and the 7 again. I'm starting on the 3rd, descending. There I've got it between the 6 and 5, and then I'll end with a little bit of an enclosure. And I'll show you enclosures in later lessons. But so there you're hearing the passing tone between the 8 and the 7 and the 6 and the 5, and I'm just improvising a little bit, trying to put it in a number of different situations in descending fashion, much like we've just done. Now, this is a great little lick, remember the lick, to practice in different keys. I fumbled a little bit, let me do it again. And I'm going around the circle of force. Now, if you're not, and the circle of force is a great sequence to practice these licks and other things in. So let me give a little plug for my jazz improv lessons. I got to do that, I've got a jazz improv lesson called The Circle of Force and Dominance. It would give you a great sequence for practicing things like this little bebop lick in. The Circle of Force and Dominance is found in my lesson series, the 2-part series called Through the Keys, parts 1 and 2. It's available by itself, or it's available as part of my stage 3 lesson set at www.beginningsax.com. Okay? Have fun with the lick.